Okay, there's really a fast strategy out there where you can escape the 9 to 5 red race. There's no clickbait, no BS. But you have to be willing to take risks and sacrifices. There's no other way around. And it's freelancing, but hold on, listen to this. Freelancing, yeah? But I'm not telling you to go to Fiverr and Upwork and find your clients over there. Because it's BS for the most part. It doesn't work. Especially in the beginning, you will have a hard time to find clients. And if you live in a first world country, you won't make enough for a living. And I'm living in a first world country. I'm doing this for over 4 years now. But what you can do, and I'm throwing this right out there, what you could do is apply for an agency, work with an agency, for an agency. But you have to bring the necessary skills. And you have to put yourself out there. And I'm going to explain it in this video how and what you can do so you can also stand out. And most importantly, once you're a freelancer, trust me, you will have so much more time and energy and the mental space to work on bigger projects, on bigger things. You can work on yourself more, and maybe you want to master your freelance skill, or maybe you want to build a business, whatever it is. When I was looking back, I was working 20 to 30 hours per week. It was different. And even when I was working 20 hours per week, I made way more money compared to my full-time office job, where I was working 40 hours. Now, I was working 50 hours per week in the office. 40 was official, but you had to sell your soul and life to the company, right? You had to show that you're committed to them, so you had to put in more hours, and you didn't get paid for it. But what you have to do at the end is really like improving on yourself, working on yourself, because the current version of yourself that is stuck in a situation in a 9 to 5 where you don't want to be, can't be successful. And even if you make it outside of the red race for some reason, and you get lucky, trust me, it's even harder to stay outside of the red race. So you really have to work on yourself and upgrade the current version of yourself, because with all the limiting beliefs you have right now, your worldview, your mindset, and your habits, everything you do defines the person that you are. And that person is stuck in a situation where you don't want to be. And now here comes a bigger problem. Now you have to put in all the time and work into your freelance skill and practice it to become good. And then you have to do some free work in the beginning to gain testimonials and experience, so you can build your portfolio. And most likely you have to build also your social media profiles to put yourself out there and stand out. And it doesn't stop there. You have to also, again, work on yourself. Upgrade the current version of yourself. Which means you have to watch videos like this. You have to watch courses. You read books. And you have to also implement all the knowledge into your real life. And then the question is, how is all that possible if you waste most of your time in life in an office or somewhere in whatever job you have, and then you come home from work and you're super tired? And there's so many coaches and gurus and mentors out there that give so much BS advice on this. They say things like, you sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, and then you have 8 hours left. Some of them say, okay, you have to make some food and shower and all this. I'll give you 6 hours, they say. Do you really have 6 hours left? I mean, you know it. You are in a situation if you're watching this video. You have to commute to work. You have to come back home. You do the shower and dinner stuff. To be realistic, and I mean, most of us, we work more than 8 hours in those jobs, especially if you're in Germany, that's the culture. But if you're realistic, if you're in a situation, you know, you don't have more than, I mean, if you're lucky, you have 3 hours left of the day before you have to go to bed and wake up the next day to go to work. And in those 3 hours, you don't really have the focus, the energy, the mental space, and anything to put in the work. Some of you do and try desperate, but you don't get much out of it. Don't listen to most of these people, man. They're not in your situation. And there's so many young millionaires out there these days. They talk about the tough times when they were broke with 16 years old. You are a child with 16. So now you have this vicious cycle for yourself. And you listen to this BS advice and you see no way out of it. But I can tell you how to break out of the vicious cycle. And I said it in the beginning of the video. You have to be willing to take sacrifices and risks. There's every day new people waking up from the 9 to 5 matrix. Every day people start with self-improvement and want to build their own business. Everything is now oversaturated. But don't worry about that too much, because most of the competition is weak and you just need to be better than most of them. Which is not hard. But still you need to understand that you're running out of time. And most people will not make the smooth, nice transition that they imagine from their full-time job to their online business or whatever it is. It doesn't work like this. And you're not willing to take the risks. You don't have the risk-taker mindset. You don't believe in yourself and you just want to play it safe. It doesn't work like it. 4 years ago, I was quitting my full-time job with no backup plan. Because I knew I'm running out of time here. I'm turning 33. And I was a broke student for many years by then. Missed out on so many things in life and I was behind. I knew it. There was so much to do and I wanted to become a professional poker player back then. And I knew I need all the time and energy to make it happen. And I was talking to successful people back then. I was asking them how they made it. And what I recognized, a certain pattern, was that they had all the time and the energy. Some of them worked a 15-hour part-time job. Others lived at home. Or they went to university, but not going to the classes, just using the time to master their craft and working on it. So it was clear to me, like, fuck it, I'm just moving back home. There's no other way. There's nothing else I can do it. It's now or never. But things changed. I was doing back then, before I was quitting my job, video editing and thumbnail design. And I was like, okay, maybe I need some little money on the side. So I was doing 10, 15-hour freelancing while I was working on poker. But the time I lost a lot for the game and I was more focused on the freelancing and on the business side. And still I made many mistakes. I fucked it up as a freelancer, to be honest. Because I should be more successful by now. I should have made more money. But still the best times, the pinnacle of my freelance career was last year in the Philippines when I was living as a digital nomad. Best times. I was living life, but the mistakes you make as a freelancer or whatever will show up at some point. And it showed up in a way where, clients come and go, but there were less clients at some point, and it was harder for me to find new clients. And the income was super inconsistent, and at some point I was like, okay, I have to travel back home before I go broke in a third world country. But before I was flying home, the last couple of days, I realized that there were so many limiting beliefs holding me back from becoming successful or making more money. And I was wasting a lot of hours. I was caught in a freelance rat race, which I didn't realize at all. I was working 20, 30, 35 hours a week sometimes, and I didn't put enough hours and work on other stuff, like how to become more successful, how to be more successful with business. And I was working on my self-improvement here and there, but it should have been different. And I was also starting super late with self-improvement. I'm turning 37 soon, and I started when I was 29. Also with many struggles and mistakes for years, and I really came from a low bad place. But that's all in the past. I've changed. I learned a lot of stuff, and once you hit rock bottom, you really realize a lot of mistakes and things you should have done different. But here comes an important thing, and what you have to practice as well. Identity shift. And I've done a video about it before. And there's also a good book from Joey Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I'm also reading Transurfing at the moment. Let me grab this book. I have it somewhere here. Let me show it to you. So I'm reading this book at the moment, Transurfing from New Zealand. There are 5 parts, but I will go through all of them. It's worth it. You have to understand that you have to really upgrade yourself. You have to become a 2.0 or 3.0 version of yourself. And this is no woo-woo bullshit. It really works. I feel the change now after 6 months of doing it. And I'm sure you can feel it after 3 months. I wasn't consistent with it. And the first 6 months of my monk mode phase was more battle with myself and finding things out and what I want to do. And yeah, it was one of probably the most stressful times of my life, looking back now. But it works, and I'm more positive now, and I know which direction life I want to go to. But again, you have to upgrade the current version of yourself. And obviously all of us have done identity shifts before when we started self-improvement. But you have to go deeper now with it. And I want to take myself and my business to the next level. And I want to start an agency soon, but I have to be the type of person that can run a successful agency. And listen, you don't have to go through all the mistakes as I did as a freelancer. That's I'm here explaining it to you. I'm teaching you from my failures. And obviously you will come out better. And I'm still a freelancer. I never had to go back to the rat race. And currently I'm working 10 hours, 15 hours a week maximum. That gives me enough time to work on my self-improvement, to do the identity shift, and also focus on everything I need to start the agency. Okay, I hope by now I assume that you understand that you don't have the time with a full-time job to practice identity shift, to work on your self-improvement, to practice your freelance skill, whatever it is, or your business. But I'll give you a simple solution, something I have done before. Just move back home if you can, or switch to a part-time job, 15 hours, 20 hours per week. Do whatever you can to lower your living costs. I'm gonna give you a great example. It's not me, but let's look at Conor McGregor, one of the most successful athletes of the last decade. And I think in 2020 or 2019, he was listed as the highest paid athlete of the year. So how did he do that? He was working as a plumber before he became a UFC star, a professional fighter. He was working as a plumber. Then one day he decided to quit his job. So he had enough time to master his craft and work on his skills. He had all the time now. And he was living off from social welfare. He just collected a couple of $100 per month. He was piss poor. Why can't you do the same? I did that. You can do the same. Like my mindset back then when I was working in this office was, I don't belong here with these people and know more about life. I see the matrix, and this lifestyle is not really in alignment with the things that I want to have in life. So you have to take the risks, you have to take the sacrifices, otherwise you will get nowhere. And listen, I'm doing this for years with the loneliness and the sacrifices and the risks. Even back then as a university student, I was broke and I focused my free time on poker. And then when I became a freelancer, I was focusing on that and on my self-improvement. But man, I had an amazing life, super social, and also amazing dating experiences in the Philippines last year. But now it's like 10 months that I'm back here into monk mode and no dating life. I haven't met any friends at all, nothing. And it's simple, I have to suffer now to live the rest of my life as a champion. And you have to understand what motivates me is the things that I've experienced as a digital nomad in the Philippines. And I knew before even that I want to have this free location, independent working lifestyle. But the atmosphere, the vibes, the people you meet there, and the expats and nomads and the like-minded people, the friends, the dating opportunities for men outside of the West. I mean, dating in the West is cooked anyways because of the feminist matrix, but that's a topic for another video. But man, I'm telling you, you're missing out on something. And that's my big vision, that's my why that I have now. That gives me the power, the energy to keep pushing. And I'm sure you meet some amazing, nice Western ladies outside of the Western countries, more like in locations like Bali, Thailand, Philippines, South America, or wherever they are. But people are different there. It's more like a relaxed, laid-back lifestyle. You have certain types of people you meet that are more like-minded, and it's easy to connect with people. And I'm telling you, you have to go through the same experiences. You have to feel the same things and see the same things as I did. And I hope I can put some fire under your ass. Like, I really can't imagine myself anymore wasting my life and time in a 9-to-5 job in the red race, and so should you. You can escape the red race right now.